Lobbycast. I like that.
We're recording in a van down by the river.
I will probably edit that out.
Yeah, well, with the constant have fun.
Quote Brad Pitt, what is in the box?
Am I the only one that's impressed that Brendan Fraser still gets work?
I also do not know. All right, hello and welcome everybody to the Lobbycast, episode 357. So many episodes.
Yes.
Lots and lots of episodes. I haven't been on one in, guess 2 weeks.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
Welcome back.
How were your holidays?
Excellent. Excellent. A little delayed because of strange work schedules in our house,
Sure.
but that is the norm here.
Yeah.
Yours were a little early.
A little early, yeah.
Weird work schedules.
Yeah, because no doubt. So anything new and interesting in your world?
Are we talking entertainment news or just in my world in general?
Your world in general.
Other than the excessive reactions I've been getting from some friends for apparently it's weird to want throwing knives for Christmas. No.
It's not weird. It's just different.
I did get them in case you're curious, and they're gorgeous.
Yay. Yay for throwing knives for Christmas.
And jewelry. So lots of shiny things.
Yay for shiny things.
And how was your holidays?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I worked Christmas Day through New Year's Eve, and that was exciting. But I was able to fly down, just do a last-minute visit with my mom through, Christmas Day morning, I guess.
Excellent.
So, yeah, not too bad.
Holidays with family as it should be.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
Hey, you have any news for me?
A little bit, not a lot. On a sad note, we'll get that out of the way first. We did lose a couple of folks this last few
It's true.
days. We lost Wayne Rogers. For those of you that were fans of MASH, that's where he's most recognizable from.
Right.
He was in the first 3 seasons of the show before departing, and was actually equally noted as a really clever investor. That's what even though he was always an actor, he was apparently kind of had savantish skills with investing people's money. So that's where he made a lot of his living from.
Huh. I was completely unaware.
Which is one of the reasons he left MASH, because he was losing money being on the most successful TV show in the world.
Well, good for him.
If that shows you something.
Yeah.
And we also lost Natalie Cole, unfortunately, who was rather young. She was only 65.
Yep.
So,
and Meadowlark Lemon.
yes, we lost Meadowlark Lemon. I saw
And
that.
Lemmy from
Yes.
Motorhead.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Lemmy.
2 Lemmys.
Mm-hmm. Meadowlark. I mean, is there anybody in this audience that didn't grow up at least seeing him on Scooby-Doo movies?
That's true. Yeah.
Which is where I was first
because
introduced.
he spent a lot of time, many years with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Indeed.
Yeah.
For those of you not aware of who Meadowlark Lemon might be, he was at a early, if not founding member, I think, of the Globetrotters, and spent many years
Maybe
with
so,
them.
yeah.
Was kind of the originator of a lot of the trick shots, the overhead, the head trick shots and things like that, and also had guest spots as one of the Harlem Globetrotters on 2 different Scooby-Doo movies, which is where I first learned about him.
Nice.
Yep. So we will miss all of you very much.
To varying degree.
Yes. So that is our rather sad news out of the way first. Only other bit that I had, and I was rather excited about this. For those of you that watch the show or aware, Will and I are big fans of the show Homicide Hunter with Lieutenant Joe Kenda.
You are. This is true.
Very true. The Nerdist got an interview with him.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so he was on a podcast with the folks at the Nerdist. So if you haven't
Very
watched
cool.
it, I suggest you sit down and do so.
Awesome.
How about you?
Let's see. News. Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something Star Wars,
Yeah. It's making a lot of money.
apparently.
So right now it's sitting at about 750 million domestically, which puts it in second place for domestic sales of all times, and it's only been out 3 weeks. So it's going to do huge numbers.
Yes.
it's expected to pass up Avatar by Wednesday, probably, to get first place domestically. Internationally, it's at 1.4 billion after 3 weeks, and that puts it about $1 billion away from Avatar's global sales. But it's opening in more countries on the 9th.
Okay.
I think China being one of them on the 9th.
Which
and so
is a huge market that a lot of movies don't get. That's going to blow it up even more.
Skyrocket.
And even here, Will and I went and I saw it opening night with Geoff, among other
It's
folks.
true. You did.
And Will finally saw it a few days ago.
Okay.
And there were still lines.
Oh, yeah.
To get
they were
in there
still
to see
selling
it.
out shows at the theater by my work.
Yeah, and we went to the Continental, and a friend of mine that works at the theater by your work has said that it's, he was expecting that first weekend that he had to work to be a little hellish, but it hasn't. He said it's calmed down a little bit. Not as many people in costume running around, but it's still kind of crazy. So
yeah, they're still filling up the parking garage.
Yeah, that's what
for
he
that.
said. He said it's still doing. I was going to say brisk, but I don't think that quite covers it. They're still doing a lot of business with that movie.
Yeah, lots of sellout shows, even being on mini theaters or on mini screens.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's pretty good. Did you enjoy it?
I liked it a lot, and as Will pointed out last week, that might say something because I realize I'm about to utter a bit of blasphemy here. I was perfectly neutral about Star Wars. I didn't dislike it, but I was never huge. As much as a nerd, I'm a huge nerd, so I really should have been more excited about Star Wars than I have been lifelong.
You're wearing a flux capacitor.
I'm wearing a flux capacitor shirt and a Doctor Who necklace. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't grow up with Star Wars.
Sure.
In my household a lot. I didn't go see them. I had the opportunity, I guess. My parents never took me to see it as a kid.
Right.
I didn't see them actually till I was 20. A friend of mine.
Oh yeah, that gives you a whole different
perspective on it, really. So I didn't have that childhood love of them. A friend of mine finally just said, "This is wrong." Sat me down. We watched all three of them back to back. Ordered in Chinese and some nonsense, and I wasn't allowed to leave the house until I'd seen all of them. And my overwhelming reaction was, "That was cool." Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. That was entertaining.
Yeah. As opposed to myself, who saw it in the theater when I was 5 years old on initial release.
Yeah.
And always waited in line to go see them.
Which is about the norm for people our age, And so I should be a bigger fan than I am. And when the newer, 1, 2, and 3 came out, I saw the first one in the theater, waited till the second one came out and rented that one and didn't even bother with the third one.
Right. Yeah.
So the fact, and the reason I went off on that little diatribe was to say, I really like this new movie, so that should say something. And for Will, that was, he said, that's a big heap of praise coming from you, who has just kind of gone, meh, about all the other movies.
So, it sounds like we have about the same position on it. It's my favorite Star Wars movie, I think.
Yeah, I love it. I really do.
Yeah, and I've always been a long-time defender of Empire Strikes Back as being my favorite Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was really good, and I think it's not. There are a lot of people complaining about it on the internet because people complain about stuff on the internet.
That's what people on the internet do.
But saying there are a bunch of plot holes and it leaned too heavily on the original Star Wars series and all this stuff. But, I don't have a problem with it because it's a direct sequel to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And it feels like Star Wars in a way that the prequel trilogy did not.
Very true.
You can really tell that it was made by someone who is a big fan of the original movies. I think you're right. And I think that, I'm going to bring up, points made by two people, one of them being you, and another one being a friend of mine, because she has a way with words, and she summed it up beautifully by saying, after she saw it, she said, "This is what I needed. It's an apology note for 1, 2, and 3, and a love letter to 4, 5, and 6." Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's very apt way to put it. And plus, you also said people needed to like this one after the disappointment of 1, 2, and 3. People needed to like this one, and I think that even though people are complaining, I think overall they do.
Well, yeah, and I think you with the sales being what they are,
sure.
I think it says a lot for the movie.
It seems to be a good indicator.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask your opinion on that has been one of the online debates was some people have been getting pitchy about whether or not Kylo Ren should have lost to Rey and Finn in that last saying, okay, he's in that last battle in this film. By the way, spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, why not? Seriously, get to it. I've seen it twice.
I've also seen it twice. Planning on seeing it a third time soon.
Wouldn't turn it down a third time. So get going. You clearly have stuff to do. But so spoiler alert, duly posted. I guess what some people had a problem with was this kind of dark force user master should not have been taken out by a couple of noobs in that last battle. And I thought the last battle made sense.
Yeah, I thought it did too.
Whole variety
because
of reasons.
that I don't know that he was actually a master. I think he was still an apprentice.
Yeah, that's one of the many reasons is Snoke, I think is the master. Time to complete his training, which implies it's not finished yet.
Right.
Let's bring up the fact that neither Finn nor Rey are pushovers themselves. I mean, Finn is a stormtrooper. That's all he's been trained to do his entire life. Is fight. And he's actually and I know this goes a little off track from the movie, but I've seen that in the novel goes more into like he's kind of a badass with melee weapons and also good with a blaster. So there's a lot to explain his training there, and Rey is just awakening to her force sensitivity, but she's not like Luke Skywalker. She's more like Anakin, like really powerful with the force. Plus, they establish early on that even before she's awakening to the force, she they show her take on two guys hand to hand and beat him down really without breaking a sweat earlier on in the film. So she's clearly nothing to be sneezed at either. Plus now she's awakening to the force. So and somebody else a couple other people pointed this out online, but and a few other reasons I don't have a problem with Kylo Ren struggling in that last battle was he hasn't completed his training, and he kind of seems to be prone to hissy fits, so maybe his concentration isn't necessarily where it should be, and he's very conflicted. He's conflicted, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that character because he's almost like in a snitty teenager phase in this movie. He's throwing temper tantrums, and he's conflicted, and he hasn't completed his training, so he has room to grow into this really even scarier threat than he already was, and I already thought he was scary. Yeah. Plus, let's not forget that didn't Chewie shoot him in the stomach with a weapon that was literally exploding people earlier in the film? And so he's got a gut wound that has wiped out everybody else that it hit in the film. And not only did he get up, T-bow it out for a few seconds on his knee and then get up and walk it off, but he's actually punching himself in the wound to make himself angrier. So So I thought that was... Which also does not help. Yeah. Punching your wound. But it makes you angrier and helps you use the dark force more. That's kind of what I was assuming they were going for. You're bleeding out faster. Yeah. But he may not have even lost that fight. He may have just bled out. So plus he goes into it wanting to kill Finn, but they show that he doesn't want to kill Rey. Yeah. Yeah, he wants to take Rey as an apprentice. Yeah. So I didn't have problems with the way that went, and I don't see why some people are griping about that, I guess. I don't either. There's only one problem I had with the movie. Which is? When Rey and Chewie return to the Rebel base and see Leia, Leia's there waiting for them, and Chewie walks right by her
without so much as a glance from either one of them.
Okay, I didn't.
And then Ray, goes over and gets a hug.
Okay, I guess that's a little weird. I also can see
Considering what had just happened.
What had just happened, yeah, that is a bit odd. I could also even contribute that to Chewie was tending to Finn. Finn was
maybe
unconscious, and they kind of imply on the way back that Chewie was tending to Finn the way Finn tended to Chewie.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
So maybe he was focusing on that, and yeah, it's still a little strange that he walked right by her, and I didn't think about it till now, but I could also see him maybe saying, I'm focusing on this.
Yeah, maybe so.
I need to focus on this. I can't handle that right now. Given what just happened, given maybe, I don't know how Wookiees handle this sort of thing, but maybe he feels guilty just saying, oh God, I can't.
Yeah, maybe so.
I can't look at her right now.
Entirely possible.
So who knows?
Past that, we've got some Xbox news. The free games this month are Xbox One, Killer Instinct Season 1 Ultra Edition, meaning instead of just the one character, you actually get all of the current characters unlocked, so it's a more useful game, and you get a playable copy of the original game.
Okay.
Like, not the new version, but the original game.
All right.
Thief is still on until the middle of the month, and then this game called Zeros, Zeros, is taking its place.
Have I heard of that?
I haven't heard of it.
Okay.
For the Xbox 360, Dirt Showdown. And then that will get replaced by Deus Ex Human Revolution, which is a backwards compatible title. So that will also be playable on your Xbox One.
Excellent.
And I think that's about it. Do you have any more news?
No.
I'm
tapped out there.
Yep, me too.
All righty.
All right.
So,
moving on to the weekly watches. What you listening to, Erin?
Not
besides the darkness.
Exactly. That was my big one. It's been about the darkness this week, and it's what I was listening to when he walked into the house to set things up here in the Lobbycast kitchen. Is Last of Our Kind, their most recent album, where they took on Rufus Taylor as their drummer, which is just bloody perfect.
Okay.
Because this guy might not know, but those of you that are Queen nerds and are aware of the fact that the Darkness is kind of Queen's musical soul brothers, I guess you'd say, Rufus Taylor is Roger Taylor's son, Roger Taylor being the past and current Queen drummer.
Gotcha.
So it's perfect. Things coming full circle, I guess. A lot of the Darkness, a friend of mine named Eric Ross introduced me to a group called Dream Theater. I've been listening to them a lot, very much in kind of the heavier, sound, and I'm liking them a lot. What
is it called?
Dream Theater.
Dream Theater. Okay. Got it.
And also, even though I'm kind of neutral in the play, I took in some Jesus Christ Superstar because the Tim Minchin version. So.
Excellent.
How about you? What you listening to?
I'm listening to New Order, their new album, Music Complete, which is not a greatest hits album despite the title.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I've been listening to Serial. They've got a new trial thing that they're listening to. It's that guy who is held by the Taliban for 5 years and is getting court-martialed.
Yes.
Bo, I forget his last name now. I'm only in the second episode right now, but it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
And then episodes of Gamertag Radio and I think Common Sense with Dan Carlin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Erin, what you watching?
See, Doctor Who, as per usual.
Yes.
And we actually haven't watched the Christmas episode yet, which I'm quite looking forward to because it features the return of River Song, one of my favorite characters. Mythbusters, because of the excellent marathons that have been running. Basically, the Science Channel started a 10-day marathon of every episode they ever shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Mythbusters.
Like 14 years worth of Mythbusters going, you just went for it. And so I've been watching that off and on. I sat down and watched Jupiter Ascending.
Is it as bad as everybody says it is?
No. It's
no?
No, it's not a good movie. I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. It's not great. It's not great, but I mean, I've seen so much worse. I've seen so much worse, folks. Come on. And Sean Bean doesn't die, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Unusual.
See, in this case, that's a spoiler.
Yeah,
because he usually dies.
He does usually die. So, spoiler alert. Sorry, I'm just assuming that people are kind of as neutral on this film as everybody else is. But yeah, I've heard some arguments. Oh, it's terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. The Eddie Redmayne's Oscar should be taken away retroactively just for being in this, even though this isn't the movie he got an Oscar for. I've actually seen people saying that on the internet.
Sure.
It's not that bad. Is it great? No, absolutely not. Would I have been mad if I saw it in the theater? Probably. It doesn't suck as much as everybody's saying.
Sure.
And of course, Star Wars: The Force Awakens again.
Yay.
Yay. How about you?
Well, Star Wars, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I saw more movies than normal, but I've been gone for a couple weeks.
Yes.
We watched Unfinished Business yesterday.
Okay.
With Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, how was that?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It had funny bits in it.
Okay.
I saw Trainwreck, which I thought I was really going to like, and it's not that great of a movie.
Oh, crap. Really?
Yeah.
I like her, and so I was kind of...
I do too, and she did a good job, and she did a good job with the dramatic bits.
Okay,
so
good.
It was good. Just overall, just not a great movie.
Just kind of... Is it mediocre or bad?
Just mediocre.
Okay.
Yeah. There's that. And then I fell asleep through several movies, those being Thor, The Avengers, and Avengers 2.
Okay.
So fell asleep during all three.
Okay.
So that was pretty good. As far as TV shows, during the days I was down in Albuquerque visiting my mom, we did make it through season 3 of House of Cards.
Okay.
So that was pretty good.
Nice.
Like that. And then I made it through season 1 of Into the Badlands. It's 6 episodes for the first season. I like it.
That's a lot of sword, a lot of martial arts. Yeah, I've not seen it.
It's on AMC. Cool.
Nice.
It's good.
Good to know.
And then I watched 2 of the 3 episodes of season 4 of Luther.
Nice.
I think it's only 3 episodes, 3 1-hour episodes, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's short, but I've seen 2 of those. I may be wrong about that, but it kind of looked like it was. I had seen 2 of 3, and there was only 1 more.
Okay.
It's interesting. British series.
Yeah,
never
British
can tell
series.
How long they're going to be?
It's very different, a more unpredictable thing than here.
Yep. I finally finished the last couple episodes of season 5 of Homeland.
Okay.
That was good.
Good. And that's one of your favorites.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. iZombie and Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon and Amy have sex.
Yeah, I heard. I've not seen that. I heard that the big event finally occurred. So
yeah,
good for them.
Yeah, and then I started Making a Murderer at my mom's, but I didn't make it through the first episode. But I'm planning on it because I like it. I like it so much.
Okay.
It's very much like Serial in its presentation, but it is on TV. So
cool.
Little different than the radio drama. Radio real life drama is Serial, and the television real life drama would be Making a Murderer.
Making a Murderer.
All right, let's move on to the What You Playing.
That's going to be as predictable this week as it has been other weeks.
Wait, are you playing Fallout 4?
Yes. How did you know?
I had a feeling.
Wow, you're good.
Yeah.
Yep, still working on Fallout 4. Still finding things that I haven't found, which is one of the things I love about that series in general.
Yeah.
Got my butt handed to me by a glowing alpha Deathclaw a few times in a row last night. Had one of those.
A glowing alpha Deathclaw?
Yeah, afraid
I
so.
have not seen glowing Deathclaws yet.
They take some work. And I had that moment of dread that everybody that Fallout knows, where you're just going along through the wasteland, looking around, everything's kind of quiet. Fortunately, I had Strong with me, but even that didn't do me a whole lot of good. And I just heard doom, 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 doom behind me and had enough time to go, oh, God.
Whack.
I had to reload a few times, but I did finally get it. And I didn't even have my power armor.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. How about you? What are you playing?
I also played some Fallout 4.
Excellent.
Haven't made a whole lot of progress. Maybe gone up 2 levels in 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
So
you haven't had much time.
No, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play. And then on my phone today, I played a game called 2 Dots, and I rather enjoy it.
Okay.
It is a puzzler.
I think I've seen that. Is it available on arcade online, or is it just a phone game?
Oh, I don't know. No, 3 Dots is, or 3 some. There is something like that on Xbox One.
Okay, because it's
but it's like 3. I don't know what that is. It's a different game though.
Okay, so different puzzler.
Yeah, different puzzler. And then I tried to start playing Knights of the Old Republic on my phone because it was free. But I hate it on my phone.
I can see that would be difficult on your phone.
I didn't no, did I make it off of I did make it off of Ender Prime or whatever the ship is at the beginning. Yeah. I made it off the ship, but then I gave up because I couldn't take it anymore. And the text is really small.
Yeah, there's a lot of text in that movie, and that would be difficult on.
Yeah, it was not great, but some people may like it.
I'm sure they will.
It'd play better with the controller, but then you're even farther away than from the tiny text.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, little one, little the other. Oh, this is more news, and it's not anything I've played, but it has to do with games, so it just popped into my head. And I'll have to look this up and say something maybe actually useful about it next week. But they have released, given release dates for The Room 3. For those of you, speaking of puzzlers, which is what popped it into my head, that are a fan of those puzzle games, which I am, they finally have release dates for the third one, which we've been waiting a long time for.
What kind of puzzler is it?
It's usually I play it on my Kindle.
Okay. And
it's an Apple release. So you always get it, if you're a Kindle user, you get it a little later than the people that have Apple products.
Sure.
But it starts out, it's kind of a creepy, you have a box and you kind of have to figure out how to get into it and how to get out of this room that you're locked into. And it's very atmospheric for those of you that are it's not survival horror, but it's creepy.
Okay.
And it's actually a real challenge. It's
nice.
A lot of those puzzlers that you find online are kind of in the same vein, but they're pale imitations. The Room is the best of all of them. So, and they're kind of starting a series of them. And
nice.
We've been waiting for the third one for a long time, and they're finally coming soon. Yay!
Great.
So I'll actually have a date for you next week. Hopefully.
Yay!
All right.
I think that's about it.
I think so.
Kind of burned through another one. Seemed like, was that a short show? I have no idea.
No,
30
minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
30 minutes is great.
Okay.
30 minutes is a great amount of time.
It is.
It's perfect.
So there you go, everybody. That's our show.
We may have seen Star Wars again by this time next week.
We may indeed. We'll let you know.
Depends on what my crazy schedule is like.
True.
Ugh. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We will see you soon.
Good night.
Good night.